The Speed Triple has been Triumph's big performance naked in the lineup since its initial launch in 1994. It's been through many changes since then, but can the new 2021 1200 RS be considered the peak of the lineage? So what's new and how does it perform when out on the road? The 2021 1200 RS is the most powerful and fastest accelerating Speed Triple ever, thanks to the new 1160cc engine, which puts out 180 PS, that's about 177 horsepower, at 10,750 RPM. That's 650 RPM higher than before, and the torque figures are equally impressive, with 125 Newton meters produced at a peak of 9,000 RPM. The bike is lighter with a curb weight of 198 kilograms. That's 10 kilos lighter than the previous model. Add to this the 12% decrease in engine inertia and it makes for rapid travel. The RS signifies that the bike is track spec, which means fully adjustable Öhlins suspension front and rear, Brembo Stylema brake calipers and Metzeler Racetech RR tyres. The electronics also allow for a track setting within the 5 riding modes. The IMU fitted to the bike brings cornering ABS and switchable cornering traction control, and so far I've found these to be unobtrusive. They just do the job they're meant to do and help to keep this beast of a bike in control. The up and down quick shifter is excellent. It has a slightly soft feel, but it's never once missed a shift. The 5-inch TFT is very clear and informative. All of the switchgear is illuminated with a cool red glow that works really well at night. And Triumph have included a keyless system with the bike, and if you've watched my reviews in the past, you'll know I'm not a massive fan. In fact, this bike has been a bit temperamental with that key fob, but it could be that the battery is running low, which I think is what this icon might be all about. The Triumph connectivity Bluetooth system is installed as standard, which allows you to control your phone, music and GoPro, as well as get turn-by-turn navigation instructions. So the bike is rammed to the gunnels with tech. It's lighter, more powerful and I think better looking. So what's it like out on the road?
Of course, the most obvious thing you notice about this bike is the power. It absolutely flies. But as well as being powerful, this motor is incredibly flexible as well, which is something that I've really come to like about Triumph triple motors. They've got a really flat torque curve that runs through a wide part of the range. It just makes them incredibly easy to ride, unlike some big powerful bikes where you've got a lot of power at the top end and not much down below, and you've got to stir the gearbox. Ride it in the twisties though, and you can just leave it in 3rd or 4th gear and let the torque do the work. It'll pull nicely out of slow corners. Roll on overtakes are a breeze, although obviously that was just a tractor. And the exhaust makes an absolutely fantastic sound. Now some people will bemoan the loss of the 2 pipes exiting under the seat, but I quite like this design. It makes for a really clean looking back end. In real world riding though, this bike is fantastic. That 30 to 90, in reality sort of 40 to 70 acceleration is exactly what you want. Although it delivers its peak power right up at 10,750, you only really need to venture up in that range out on the track. On the road you've just got such a broad spread of torque that you don't need to go that high, but it's obviously the higher you get, the better it sounds. But it's not an intimidating bike to ride at all. Because of the high-end Öhlins suspension, the bike feels incredibly planted. Obviously both front and back end is fully adjustable, but it's a relatively compliant ride. It doesn't feel as harsh as the Thruxton RS did, and that's maybe just because this is a better quality setup and we're dealing with a monoshock as opposed to twin shocks on the Thruxton. Now obviously you can play around with this to your heart's content. to get it set up exactly how you'd want it, but for me, I think it's fine straight out of the box. Personally, I think I probably just want to dial the compression off a little bit, but you've got the ability to do that with these, and there's a good level of adjustability on these shocks. They are expensive for a reason. The brakes on the bike are phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. They've got really good bite, but a really nice feel as well. They're absolutely spot on. As you would expect, electronics feature heavily on this bike, but they never feel like they're interfering. The IMU fitted means that you've got cornering ABS and cornering traction control, which is switchable, as I've mentioned, but it never feels like it's getting in the way. You just have the confidence to know that it's there in the background doing what it needs to do. Now, I wouldn't say that the electronics are there to make you feel like a better rider than you actually are, but we all make mistakes, and keeping this power under control is really good. Obviously, if you're brave enough or you've got the prerequisite skills, you can turn everything off. And then you can have a lot more fun. Anybody that's ridden a Triumph in the last 5 years or so will be very familiar with this control layout. Obviously, with modern bikes now we're getting a lot of buttons, but I've always found the Triumph interface to be very user friendly, and despite its kind of sporty performance prowess, it's actually a pretty decent mile muncher. The seat's nice and broad and comfortable, the riding position's not too aggressive. My feet are a little bit high, but I'm not really used to riding these sort of bikes. I don't ride them a lot, and I'm getting old and creaky, but you could certainly cover a lot of distance in a short period of time in a very relaxed manner. It's not one of those manic bikes, although it will rev very high. It doesn't feel like it wants to do that all the time. If you just want a short shift and buzz around for a bit of touring, it's perfect. But then get onto a nice open twisty piece of road and you can just let it rip. On some of these rougher road surfaces, you do get to see how this suspension has been set up to be more track orientated, but it's not that bad actually. I would probably just want to take some of the compression out just to soften that first hit. Other than that, the rebound's nice and quick and it controls it really well, so that's probably the only change I would make to the suspension settings. But on a day like today, out finding twisty roads, the bike is an absolute joy to ride. I really like it. It goes well, it looks great, it sounds fantastic. All in all, a really nice performance naked package from Triumph. If you've got the money to spend and you're looking for this kind of bike, I would definitely recommend getting to your local Triumph dealer and giving one of these a go.
I do like the look of the bike, particularly in this matte silver ice colour scheme. The newly designed bodywork is soft and rounded, and the RS features the carbon fibre front mudguard, a colour matched belly pan and seat cowl. You can switch out the cowl for a pillion seat using an Allen key that is stored under a cover on the side of the bike. Just unscrew and replace with the pillion pad. Despite the power of it, the bike still returns a 50 miles per gallon figure, and with its 10,000 mile service intervals, the ongoing running costs don't appear to be too bad. So in summary, I've loved riding this bike. It's undoubtedly a very fast machine, but it's also quite happy blobbing through town as it is carving through ribbons of twisty tarmac. For those riders that like to do the occasional track day, this bike will be amazing. The bike retails at £15,100, and you do get a lot of bike for that money, and dare I say it could be possibly one of the best performance naked bikes on the market at the moment. Now, I know obviously that statement is going to have a lot of other bike owners champing at the bit to tell me why I'm wrong and why their bike is better. I didn't say it was the best, but it's certainly up there in that top group for me of those big performance naked bikes. But of course, don't forget, a couple of days ago, Triumph put out a teaser video for the new Speed Triple 1200 RR, which looks like it could be a partially or even fully faired bike. If you've got any questions about the bike or there's something that I missed, then drop those in the comments section down below and I'll try to get a response back to you as soon as I can. I always appreciate a thumbs up if you like the video, and if you haven't already, then a subscription would be fantastic as well, and don't forget to click on the notification bell. So until the next video, thanks for watching, take care, ride safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.